President Emerson Mnangagwa has taken delivery of a $54 million presidential jet, a Dassault Falcon 7X, the City Times can reveal. The aircraft was delivered in March, but it was not put into service until this week after Mnangagwa's government came under international spotlight following Al Jazeera's broadcast of a four-part investigation into massive gold smuggling and money laundering linked to associates of the ZANU-PF leader and his wife Auxilia. The jet, bearing the registration P4SIM, appears brand new. Its first known flight, according to tracking service Flight Radar 24, was a flight from Paris in France to Johannesburg, South Africa on March 1. Flight Radar 24 identifies it with the International Civil Aviation Organization code FA7X, short for Falcon 7X. Mnangagwa used the aircraft for a flight to Victoria Falls on Wednesday, where he hosted the Transform Africa Summit, attended by 4 other African leaders, including King Mswati III of Eswatini, who flew in on his Airbus A340-300, reportedly purchased second-hand for $30 million US in 2015. The 80-year-old again flew on the aircraft to Bulawayo on Friday, while King Mswati, who was guest of honor at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair underway in the city, swapped his Airbus for an Air Zimbabwe Boeing 737. As exclusively reported by the City Times in October last year, Treasury officials were reportedly concerned by the huge bill for chartering aircraft for the globe-trotting Mnangagwa, sometimes shelling out over $1 million US on a single overseas trip. Unlike his predecessor Robert Mugabe, who almost exclusively traveled on state airline Air Zimbabwe's aging planes, Mnangagwa's presidency has seen him fly private jets hired from Azerbaijan, United Arab Emirates and Switzerland, including in 2019 when an Airbus 318112CJ Elite flew 8 hours from Dubai to take him on the 30-minute trip to Gweru for a graduation ceremony. A source told the City Times the aircraft arrived in early March and initially landed at the Robert Mugabe International Airport, and it was subsequently flown to the Air Force of Zimbabwe's Miami Air Base, where it is being kept. The private jet was not budgeted for in the previous or current financial year, and its acquisition remains shrouded in mystery. Asked if the jet was Mnangagwa's private aircraft or if the taxpayer was carrying the bill, the presidential spokesperson George Charamba shot back, "Is the presidency private?" He bristled when he asked further to justify the government splashing on a private jet for the president when hospitals are without basic drugs and equipment, among a litany of Zimbabwe's social and economic ills. He quipped, "Why do we have costly newspapers, online news, bars, restaurants, and industries when hospitals are poorly equipped?" The Dassault Falcon 7X is manufactured by Dassault Aviation, a French manufacturer of military aircraft and business jets. The business jet has a large cabin and a range of 5.950 nautical miles, 11.020 kilometers, and it can fly from Harare to London non-stop. It made its first flight in March 2005 and has a typical configuration for 12 passengers, although other floor plans can accommodate up to 19. Luxury travel and aviation website Sherpa Report says the list price of a new Falcon 7X is currently about $54 million US. The total annual budget for flying a Falcon 7X private jet 200 hours per year is approximately $1,434.61 US or $2,214.097 US for flying 400 hours per year, according to Liberty Jet Management. The data suggests Zimbabwean taxpayers will fork out at least $2 million US annually to keep the jet flying. Meanwhile, the sources say Mnangagwa has also approved the acquisition of 4 VIP transport helicopters. It is not known who will use the helicopters, but the purchase timing just before general elections expected in August suggests they'll be used by top government officials to crisscross the country on campaign stops.